So what is capital according to him? Capital is the amount of resources that individuals or groups can draw upon in order to successfully compete with others in an antagonistic and never level playing field. What does that mean? Capital is the amount of resources, okay? So how many resources in your own environment, how many resources or how much of those available resources can you practically access? Right? In order for you to successfully compete with others. Because whether you like it or not, you could be living in poverty, or you are living in poverty right now, and you keep postponing things, you keep complaining, you keep procrastinating, you keep giving excuses, even when you have, the little that you have. Instead of going straight, boom, you get started, you're just clever at, weaving excuses. So how much of resources are available to you, which you can actually access and use to change your environment, your context, your whatever. Determines how well you can compete, because people are already competing, whether you like it or not, whether you are there or you're not there. They are competing, they are achieving things, small things, big things, medium things, and unbelievable things. It's going on, life is going on, So it is the amount of resources at your disposal that determine the extent to which you can compete with those other people who are already in competition. And it's not just competition for just, games, but they are busy solving problems, busy changing their lives, busy elevating, the standards or the quality of their lives. So, this is just the definition to you of capital. So, there can be capital all over or around you, all around you. But if you cannot access that capital to participate in the competition, then there's no hope for you, okay? So you have to be creative, you have to be more creative. An example I can give is, on the farm, some commercial farms, maybe private commercial farms, you find there are a lot of very helpful, very powerful, very sophisticated equipment. And a farm laborer may be trained to such a sophisticated level to drive this, machine, this forklift, this harvester, this all kinds of equipment. He can operate a very wide range of machines, very expensive machines, But because he owns none of them, he lives on a very meager salary. So his children, all they can do is to look and admire those machines, but their standard of living is really mediocre. If you really think about it, those resources are available, but they're not accessible to these guys, so they cannot compete with these people they are working for, who are already out there in the competition. Capital is of three main forms. There is economic capital, social capital, and cultural capital. We are accustomed ourselves to the economic capital. And after I've talked a little bit about the other bits of capital, I'll come back to economic capital and carry on to the concept of the market, because our interest is really to lay our foundation, in terms of understanding of what goes on in business vis-a-vis the market, vis-a-vis customers, vis-a-vis a lot of other concepts for us to get a grip of how we can, interplay with the market and get the best out of it. And then only as we go on, as we move along, will I start breaking down some of these concepts. I know you are thinking, oh, what a waste of time. Why can't we just straight away start talking tomatoes, beans, bananas, or fish or whatever in Mplungu, or we go and get this in Chipata, or we go, but that's the thinking of everybody who is not where they should be, because they think that they don't need concepts, they don't need to understand what really goes on. If you are really talking being successful, then you need to be patient enough to understand the concepts and to understand how the market plays. The big players, other than thieves, but the big players who just they know what business is, they know how to do business. It's because they understand how these basic concepts work. So, stay with me and listen to some tricks and, magic in business. And believe me, whether you like it, whether you believe it or not, this stuff can transform you. Because if this stuff cannot transform you or anybody that's listening, then I'll be wasting my time. But I can guarantee you that it can transform you, because I have taught this stuff to a lot of people, and today many of them are millionaires. By Zambian standards and by old currency standards. But there are some who are approaching millionaire status even by current standard. So don't take this very lightly. One of the few people I decided to start with was my own brother. I had to teach concepts to my brother, because I knew that if he succeeds, then I know that I'm talking sense. I've taught other people, but I wanted also a very, very readily available litmus test for my efforts. So, I'll quickly go through the forms of capital. There's economic capital. Economic capital is related to access to money, income, and wealth. So when we talk economic capital, you know what we're talking about. Oh, I don't have capital, I would have started business, blah, blah, blah. We know you need money, you need maybe stocks, you need whatever, to get started and to stay in the business. Without that, you'll just be on the sidelines. You can talk all you want, you can admire business all you want, you can analyze business all you want, but you will never be one of the competitors, and you will never get the benefit of being a business owner. Second is social capital. Social capital refers to the extent to which a person can call upon on influential networks or powerful individuals and groups. You see, again, I've said before somewhere in the other videos that there are individuals, there are groups, and there are persons who are powerful. They are powerful, they possess attributes which make them successful, and which, if you know them, if you can identify them, if you can connect yourself up with them, then that's the beginning of you also becoming powerful and successful. Now, SNOPE is all about identifying individuals, identifying networks, identifying clusters of power in society. Economic, social, spiritual, political, in certain sense, just in certain sense, not not across the spectrum. Because where power is, that's where the means of success lies. You can have billions of poor people But if there's just one person who is rich, that one person is stronger than the billions. So what we need is not numbers minus power. What we need is more power. When you have power, then it doesn't matter if you have numbers or not. You have the power. Now, we go to cultural capital. Cultural capital emphasizes the social esteem given to you via your occupation, class, educational attainment, or your taste in a range of arts and cultural activities. You know, you can talk about a taste for operas, you know, taste for sports, golf, you know. You can talk about access, privilege, you know, privileged access to things like chambers of commerce, you know, all such will qualify as cultural capital. Your access to this capital is one of the desirable attributes for you to be able to step out there into success, to start competing in the arena of success. Now, our emphasis will be initially on economic capital, but as we progress, we will dissect other forms of capital. So the next set of concepts that I would like to digest with you will be business concepts. So again, in no particular order, I will just throw them around, play around with them, and simplify them out for you and me. You know, how they apply, how to analyze them, how to define them, how to analyze them, how to apply them, how to, you know, structure them and bundle them, and so on and so on. So we take a break, and when we come back, we go straight into business concepts. Shalom.
Testify.